Welcome back, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for taking the time to spend a little time with me. I always appreciate that. And welcome to another episode of Terrible Towel Tuesday. I am your host, SimFBallCritic. And let's jump right into it, man. I got a lot to cover. I'm trying to get it done in a short amount of time. There's so much to cover. But let's speed through this the best we can. I wanted to do this as a live stream, guys, but I'm heading out of town today, so I'm unable to do the live stream. So I had to go ahead and knock this video out earlier here in the day so I could get it out to you guys. But I promise going forward, we'll get back to the live stream, man, because I like that interaction with you guys. So first and foremost, training camp has started, and this was perfect. You know, it's a perfect time to come back and get Terrible Towel Tuesday back up and running. There's been 4 practices, and there's quite a bit of things to talk about, man. So like I said, I'm going to try to hit them as fast as possible. The first thing we have to note, Le'Veon Bell is a no-show. A lot of us probably pretty much expected that. You know, didn't get the deal done. Hasn't signed the franchise tag tender. It is what it is. You know, why go to training camp, risk injury, number 1, or, sleep in dorms, number 2. I understand all of that from that aspect, but at the same time, I'm torn because it's mixed feelings. I wish Le'Veon Bell was there because obviously it's nothing better than camaraderie and being with your teammates. Plain and simple. That side of it I'm not liking because it does kind of it makes it look a bit selfish. Reason being is, the numbers that came out, they were showing that Bell was going to be basically making about $12 million per year. We know the Steelers don't throw guaranteed money out there, so that his guaranteed money probably wasn't that high, and I'm pretty sure that's why he didn't sign. But at $12 million per year, I mean, there's no other running back making that type of money. So it does make it look a tad bit selfish, and excuse the air condition coming on there, guys. You're going to hear that air in the background. Apologize for that. But, yeah, makes it look a tad bit selfish, but it is what it is. What are we going to do? You know what I mean? So I can't knock him for what he's doing, but I definitely wish he was there to be a part of what they're trying to build. All right, so the next thing, guys, we have to talk about is injuries. And, whoa, there's some significant names on this list, and there's one that's, man, oh man, oh man. So let's run through it real quick. I'm not going to read the whole injury list, but just a couple that stood out. Even yesterday, Stephon Tuitt, they said had a minor ankle injury, but they did say that, he was hanging out after practice. Trainers weren't around him, so it's probably not nothing serious. So I'm pretty sure everything is okay there. But it's training camp, man. It's football. Guys are going to get injured. This is the business. It's the nature of the business. I hear some people saying, oh, they shouldn't be practicing. I don't agree with that at all. What, are you just going to throw them out there in game time? Because the same thing would happen. You have to get yourself in football shape. Point blank period. This is the business. There's always going to be injuries. Then Mike Mitchell also got dinged up a little bit. They did say he, returned back to the field, not to practice, but he was out there. So it's probably not that significant, seeing as that he didn't have to go back to Pittsburgh like a couple other guys who were injured to get further evaluation. So that's a good sign. But again, these are things that we come to expect. Vince Williams is another one to note. Has a minor shoulder injury, the reason why he hasn't hit yet. And Vince is always ready to hit. Looking forward to being able to put the pads on, and for 2 consecutive days he's unable to do so. Who else? There's a couple other injuries out there. James Conner, that's a big one right there. Shoulder injury of some sort. Don't know how significant it is, but he is one of the 2 as well that had to go back to Pittsburgh for further evaluation. He was seen in a sling, so for whatever that's worth, hopefully it's not that bad, because I want guys like James Conner to be able to play in the preseason. Next preseason, first preseason game is next Friday. Not this coming Friday, but the following Friday. But as far as this coming Friday, it's Friday Night Lights. So you would also want some of these guys to be a part of that, because I think they're doing it at Heinz Field this year. So that's another thing for fans that you'd want to see these guys be able to go at. But here's the big one. Oh, here's another one. Another semi-interesting one as well. Cam Sutton. Cam Sutton has suffered some type of lower body injury. They're not really saying exactly what it is. So that's interesting. Got to keep an eye on that. I'm going to get on that in just a moment. But here's the big one, guys. Senquez Gosin. Another injury. Another year. He's carted off the field. And they said it was non-contact. Last year's Liz Frank injury was non-contact. This year, hamstring. They said he was doing special teams drills as a gunner. He pulls up, grabs the hammy, has to get carted off. Now, the reason why this is crazy is we all know we've been waiting to see what Sinquez Golson has to bring to the table. We're not able to see it. As of now, he has not completed a full practice in pads since he's been drafted. That is crazy. That is crazy. He hasn't completed one full practice. And like always, they said he had been showing some signs until he got injured that day. It's a shame. He seems to have the talent to definitely be able to beat somebody's slot corner. Just can't stay on the field, man. So I think if there's any significance at all to his injury, the Steelers are going to cut him, and they're going to cut their ties with Sinquez Golson. It's sad, man, because he had a lot of potential. I feel very bad for him, but what are you going to do? Now, speaking of which, there's another guy similar in stature. He's about 5'8", Mike Hilton. Now, I know one of you guys comments about him all the time. They're saying that he's showing some signs, man. And the interesting thing is in the depth chart, they said that Mike Hilton was actually the number 2 slot corner starting out. Golson and SimFBall, which is interesting, both have been working on the outside on the second team. So that's very interesting. Very interesting there. All right, now, speaking of SimFBall, he said he had a great day yesterday, so it's definitely good to hear that. He said he, had a couple pass breakups, and again, very interesting that he's playing on the outside. I thought SimFBall would be more of a slot corner, but hey, wherever these guys can get it done, I'm cool with it. But keep an eye on Mike Hilton. They said this kid shows a lot of physicality, and they're saying that his press technique is good. You never know. This dude could hang around with these injuries again. Golson being injured and Cam Sutton. Not happy to hear about that. This is another guy that I want to see play. I want to see him play. But again, that's somebody else to mention. They said that Sutton was also being worked on the outside. So it's very interesting, man, to see how the Steelers are assessing them. So, as far as this soon. And I know a lot of these guys have played both spots, inside and out. But it's very interesting to see that. The thing that bothers me is, guess who's starting in the slot corner right now? Yeah. Not even going to say his name. Listen, man, no disrespect to him. Well, let's give him some respect. William Gay, man. William Gay has done good things for the Pittsburgh Steelers in both stints. But like I said, man, it's time for William Gay to not be the one that you rely on. He's not our James Harrison, if you will. He's not the veteran that you feel comfortable with saying, oh, he's going to go out there and make plays. He could surprise us, I don't know, but I just think his time is gone. I think his best football as a corner has passed him, maybe as a safety. And I just felt like I wanted some of the younger guys to get an opportunity. The real young guys, but also a guy like SimFBall. I thought maybe that'd be the Will Gay replacement, the veteran slot corner. They're only 4 days into training camp, so we'll have to see how it plays out. But very interesting stuff there, man. Just looking at that rotation. And speaking of corners, they're saying that both Artie Burns and Ross Cockrell are showing pretty well right now. Of course, Burns being matched up with AB. They said the matchup is a little better than it was last year. So Burns is improving, even though AB is still, giving him the work as you would expect. It's AB. But they said Burns is right there with them. Press, he's all in his face. He's shadowing him from left to right. That's what I like, because the Steelers did say they want to. Their intentions are to do more man this year, so that's a good sign. And it's always a good sign when second-year players are improving. Same thing with Sean Davis. Sean Davis, they're saying he's making a lot of pass breakups. He's reading his keys very well. This is what you hope to hear from your second-year players. Now, what does concern me is I don't necessarily like our safety rotation right now. I don't like the safety group. I mean, you got Davis and you got Mitchell, which, Mitchell is hit or miss. I don't think he is as bad as some people think, but he's not that great either in coverage. But then behind that, you got Dangerfield, who's a hitter, and Robert Golden. Just not comfortable with the safeties right now. Now, I am hearing that the kid Hagan is making some plays, so maybe Hagan can knock one of those other guys out of there, give him an opportunity if he deserves it. But I don't like that safety group as a whole. like I said, once you get past Mitchell or Davis, because you got to understand, injuries happen. Behind those guys, it's just not comfort there. Maybe Robert Golden can turn it around. I don't know. But last year, he just didn't prove that he was worthy the starting job that they gave to him because he had earned it when he allowed Sean Davis to come in there and take that spot. But we'll see. And we definitely need Davis to be more of a playmaker. So it's good to hear that he's having, getting hands on balls and things like that. So great to hear that. Got some other notes here, guys. Bear with me in trying to speed through this here. What else do we have here? Medikevich. Tyler Medikevich is getting a lot of reps in the middle, with Vince Williams temporarily sidelined. And that's a good thing because you could almost say the same thing about the linebacker group. That I could say about the safeties, the inside linebackers. Once you get past Williams and Shazier, what do you have? You got Medikevich, Steven Johnson, and LJ Fort, which I think LJ Fort is a guy that we don't talk about a lot. He shows a lot of promise. I think he's more athletic than a Johnson. I like Medikevich because I like what Medikevich brings to the table as far as being a sure tackler. He may not be the most athletic. Think about a guy like Zach Thomas back in the day for the Dolphins. A guy like that just sniffs the ball out. Makes a lot of tackles. I'm cool with that. As a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, because you need a short tackler as well in the middle. And then you got Ryan Shazier, who's the speed demon and sniffs out things as well. Gets home with blitzes a lot. But having that balance and that contrast would be great. I don't have a problem with a short tackler playing the inside. It's just like Vince Williams. So I like Medikevich, but I think I do like LJ Fort over Steven Johnson. So we'll have to see how that plays out. What else do I have here? Fitzgerald Toussaint is making a lot of heads turn, man. I mean, this is always the case. He always has a good camp. But here's an interesting question I have for you guys, and I want you guys to put it in the comments. Do you keep, excuse me, do you keep Fitz or now Davis? Which one? Interesting question, right? Now they say that, Fitzgerald Toussaint does a great job with pass protection, which stands out to me because if, Bell goes out for any significant time and whether Fitzgerald is the number 2 or number 3, probably James Conner will be the number 2. Regardless, if you have a rotation of, 2 running backs at the very least, all of them need to be able to pick up the pass. Pass block, because Ben Roethlisberger and the Pittsburgh Steelers like to throw the ball. So that's a key component to me. Now Davis does show some things, but honestly, Fitzgerald Toussaint has shown some things in the run game. So I don't know who's the better out of the two. If now Davis is able to do his thing in the return game, different story, but we'll have to see. We don't know. We don't know if he's still that guy. So I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think? Now, they said Josh Dobbs is struggling, as expected, as a rookie quarterback. But they said yesterday he had the best day of camp so far. And the key thing to note is each day they say he has improved. That's good to see. They said that, Alex Kozor, who reports for SteelersDepot.com, he said that the thing about Dobbs, man, that everyone is talking about is how he commands the offense. Very consistent in his play. He doesn't have a lot of spikes, but he commands the offense, gets them in and out of the huddle. The coaches never have to, blow the play dead or anything like that. So that's a good key. Excuse the work phone there ringing, guys. Apologize for that. But yeah, that's definitely a good thing right there. That's a good key quality to have, and the fact that he's improving daily, that makes me feel good as well. What else do we have here, guys? We're pretty much done for this episode, I believe. Last but not least, Anthony Chickillo. They're saying that this guy is looking like the camp phenom once again for the 3rd year in a row. And it's very interesting, man, because Chickillo seems to always do that in camp, but doesn't give it as much opportunity in game. Got opportunity last year, made a couple plays, but maybe not up to the expectation based on what you see in camp. But I think Chickillo, again, is going to be a key component this year because, listen, I talked about the inside linebackers, but outside linebackers are thin also. TJ Watt and Bud Dupree and, James Harrison. But then after that, who are you talking about? You know, Arthur Moats and Chicolo. So I think Chicolo is going to get a lot of opportunity this year. So it's time to see it. The kid is talented. You know, he's not the most athletic, but his motor is very strong. And when he gets there, he makes plays. So I want to see more of him, more of that, because we got to get this rotation going, man, in terms of, you know, pass rushes and just D-line in general. TJ Watt, same thing. They're saying that TJ Watt is doing fairly well so far. He's doing a great job against others, but he's having a little trouble with Villanueva, which, in a way, I'm happy about that, because Villanueva, shout outs to him. We just gave him his deal. Glad they got that done, and I figured it would happen in training camp. But this guy's just starting left tackle. I would hope that guys are having trouble with him. That makes me happy. Now, the fact that TJ Watt is raw in his position as well, that's natural. But they're saying it's not like he's getting beat up. He's just struggling a little bit with Villanueva's size and things of that nature, as expected. I mean, the guy's 6'9". But like I said, you got to be happy about that as a fan. But that lets you know that Villanueva is doing a great job there at the left tackle. So, still early. I can't wait till we get to the preseason games, man, because that's going to tell us the real story. But we definitely got to keep our eyes on some of these injuries. Again, Cam Sutton is going to be a very significant component, because right now, William Gay looks like he's in the driver's seat for the starting position in the slot. After that is Mike Hilton. So that's very interesting, man. Cam Sutton not being able to practice, that could cost him. Golson. I hate to say it, but we can... Excuse me. Sorry about that. I hate to say it, man, but we could pretty much say that Golson might be the lonely man out. We'll see how it plays out. But let's keep an eye on those guys. And Brian Allen, they're saying that Brian Allen is not, you know, he's struggling a bit. You know, as expected, this is a receiver that was converted to a cornerback, and now he's playing on the NFL level. He said he's struggling a little bit as far as, you know, biting on things and things like that. It's expected. But let's see what happens with him, man. He may end up being a practice squad guy. But again, it's early. They haven't played any preseason games, so we have to see how these guys play in game before we can really judge. So this is just an early assessment. And let's keep an eye on James Conner as well, man. Hopefully it's not significant. And any of the other little injury reports, I think they're relatively minor. Juju Smith-Schuster, you know, he's back. Was back on the field today. You know, he got dinged up a little bit with his ankle, but they said he did return to individual drill. So, you know, I don't think it's that significant. But keep an eye on things like that. And I didn't even get a chance to even talk about the receivers, but I'll do that real quick. Juju and Eli Rogers should probably be an interesting battle, because now you even hear Ben Roethlisberger giving Eli a lot of praise as far as his growth. They said that both, you know, well, Juju, rather, was playing both inside and outside before he got, you know, a little minor tweak to his ankle. So that's interesting. You know, that just makes me think about some opportunities as well. With Sammy Coates being on the PUP list, Justin Hunter is the guy starting opposite Antonio Brown, as well with Martavis Bryant still going through his situation. Hopefully he'll be back soon. We want to see that in action. But I'm telling you, man, with injuries and opportunity, those things are hand in hand. Justin Hunter could very well make the team. Who knows? He could very well make the team because he's getting a lot of reps, and they said he's doing his thing. So it's going to come down to his details. So I can't wait until the preseason actually happens so we can see them against somebody else other than themselves, an actual game. And that's when we'll be able to know what these guys are working with. So went a little long here today, guys. I see it's already at 19 minutes, but hey, when we talking about Steelers, y'all know it could be that way sometimes. So that's all I got for you today, man. I'm looking forward to the rest of the week, hearing about Friday Night Lights. And I definitely look forward to the first preseason game on August the 11th against the New York Giants, I believe. So here it is, man. We're here. It's football season. So that's all I got for you today. Definitely leave your comments, guys. I want to hear your thoughts on what you're hearing so far and what your expectations are. But more importantly, man, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Cut on your notifications. Click that little notification bell so you know when the video is available. And I promise, it'll never hurt you to hit that like button. So, all right, guys, that's going to do it for this one. But, hey, we'll catch you in the next video. Until then, peace.